Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the place where hidden treasures come to life and everyday pocket change could secretly be worth a fortune, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in American history, the 1967 Liberty 1 cent, a coin that at first glance may seem ordinary but holds a story, a legacy, and a potential value that can truly surprise collectors and enthusiasts around the world, because this is not just a coin, this is a piece of history. Frozen in copper, a symbol of an era, and for some lucky collectors, a gateway to extraordinary value reaching up to $779,333 depending on its condition, rarity, and unique characteristics, and if you have ever wondered whether that old penny lying in your drawer could change your life, then stay with us because this story might just inspire you to start looking a little closer at your coins. The year 1967 was a very special time in the United States mint history because during this period, the mint decided to remove mint marks from coins in an effort to stop collectors from hoarding freshly minted coins, which means that every 1967 Lincoln cent you see does not carry a mint mark, making it unique in its own way compared to other years. And this small detail adds an interesting layer of mystery and collectability to the coin, as it becomes harder to trace its exact origin, and that alone already sparks curiosity among serious collectors who are always searching for something rare and different, something that stands out from the millions of coins produced during that time. Now let's talk about the design, because the 1967 Liberty 1 cent proudly features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has been part of American coinage since 1909, symbolizing unity, strength, and leadership, and on the reverse, you will find the classic wheat ears or the Lincoln Memorial depending on the variation, both representing growth, heritage, and the foundation of a nation, and while millions of these coins were produced, only a small fraction of them have survived in exceptional condition, and those are the ones that truly matter in today's market, because condition is everything when it comes to determining value. Collectors around the world are constantly hunting for high-grade examples of the 1967 penny, especially those that are in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning they have never been used in daily transactions and still retain their original shine and detail, and when such coins are graded by professional grading services and receive high scores like MS65, MS66, or even higher, their value can skyrocket dramatically, turning a simple 1-cent coin into a highly desirable collectible worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is exactly where the magic happens, where history meets rarity and creates real financial opportunity. But what truly makes some 1967 pennies reach extraordinary values like $779,333 is not just their condition, but also the presence of rare errors and unique features, because error coins are among the most valuable and sought-after items in the numismatic world, and in 1967, several interesting minting errors were discovered, including double die errors, off-center strikes, and unusual planchet variations, all of which can significantly increase the value of a coin, and collectors are always willing to pay a premium for these rare mistakes because they represent something truly one of a kind, something that cannot be easily replicated. Imagine finding a 1967 penny with a clear double die error where the lettering appears slightly doubled, or an off-center strike that gives the coin a distinctive and unusual look. These are the types of coins that can attract serious attention at auctions and private sales, and when combined with excellent condition, they can reach astonishing prices that most people would never expect from a simple penny. And this is why experts always recommend checking your coins carefully, because you never know what hidden gem you might be holding. The market for rare coins has grown significantly over the years, with more collectors and investors entering the space, recognizing the potential for both historical appreciation and financial gain, and the 1967 Liberty 1 cent has become a popular choice among collectors due to its unique background, its connection to a special period in minting history, and the possibility of finding rare high-value examples, and as demand continues to rise, prices for top-quality coins are expected to remain strong, making this an exciting time for anyone interested in coin collecting. So what should you look for if you want to find a valuable 1967 penny? First, check the condition, look for coins that have minimal wear, strong details, and a bright original luster, then examine the coin closely for any signs of errors or unusual features, and finally, consider having your coin professionally graded if you believe it might be valuable, because certification can significantly increase its market value and make it easier to sell to serious collectors. In the end, the 1967 Liberty 1 cent is more than just a coin. It is a reminder that even the smallest things can hold incredible value, and that sometimes, history is hiding right in front of us, waiting to be discovered. So the next time you come across an old penny, don't ignore it, take a closer look, because it might just be worth far more than 1 cent, it might be your ticket to an amazing discovery. Make sure to subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1970D, a coin that at first glance may look simple and common but holds a story, a mystery, and a value that can shock collectors around the world. Because what if I told you that a single penny from 1970 could be worth an incredible $779,371 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. A coin that many people have ignored for decades is now becoming one of the most talked about treasures in the coin collecting world. So let's explore the history, the hidden secrets, and the current market value of this unbelievable coin. The 1970D Lincoln cent was minted in Denver at a time when the United States was going through major economic and social changes, and this coin carries the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity and strength, first introduced in 1909. Making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. But what makes the 1970D penny so special is not just its age, it is the rare varieties, minting errors, and condition factors that can transform it from a 1-cent coin into a life-changing asset. Collectors around the world are especially interested in the 1970D small date variety. A subtle but extremely valuable difference where the size and positioning of the numbers in the date create a rare variation that only a few sharp-eyed collectors can identify, and this is where the real treasure begins, because coins with this rare feature in high-grade condition have been known to sell for astonishing amounts, pushing their value closer and closer to that jaw-dropping figure of $779,371 depending on condition, rarity, and demand in the market. Now imagine finding one of these in your old coin jar or inherited collection. It sounds unbelievable, but it has happened before. And that is why collectors never underestimate even the smallest details. The history of the 1970D penny also reflects a transitional period in minting technology and quality control, which led to several unique errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, and weak details. Each of these errors adds another layer of rarity and excitement, making certain coins highly desirable among elite collectors. The market for rare U.S. coins has been growing rapidly in recent years, driven by investors, historians, and passionate collectors who see these coins not just as currency but as pieces of American heritage, and the 1970D Lincoln cent stands proudly among them as a coin that represents both history and opportunity. Its value is not fixed, it changes based on grading, demand, and auction results. But one thing is certain, the highest quality examples with rare features continue to break records and surprise even experienced collectors. So if you are serious about coin collecting or even just curious about the hidden value of your spare change, this is the kind of coin you should be looking for. Check the date carefully, examine the details under magnification, and never ignore a coin just because it looks ordinary, because as we have seen today, the Liberty 1 cent 1970D is far from ordinary. It is a symbol of hidden wealth waiting to be discovered, and who knows, the next time you check your coins, you might just be holding a piece of history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So stay tuned to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that collectors and treasure hunters are still chasing across America, the Liberty 1 cent 1976D, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent without thinking twice, but very few truly understand its real story, its hidden value, and its powerful place in the coin market today. Because what looks like just another penny could actually be worth far more than anyone expects, and that is exactly what makes this coin so exciting and mysterious for collectors all over the world, especially in today's growing rare coin market where demand is rising and prices are surprising even experienced investors. So let's uncover the full history, value, and current market worth of the 1976D Lincoln cent and why some of these coins are now being talked about as potential high-value collectibles reaching figures like $779,335 depending on condition, rarity, and unique mint errors that can completely transform a simple coin into a life-changing discovery. Now first let's understand the history behind this coin, because history is what gives coins their soul and meaning. The Liberty 1 cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, has been a symbol of American identity since 1909, when Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the coin, and by 1976, the United States was celebrating its bicentennial, marking 200 years of independence. And although special designs were used for quarters, half dollars, and dollars, the Lincoln cent continued its classic design, but that does not mean it was ordinary, because coins minted in 1976, especially from the Denver Mint marked with a small d under the date, hold their own unique significance tied to that historic year. The 1976 D penny was struck in massive numbers, over 4 billion coins produced, which might make it seem common, but here is where things get interesting. Not all coins are created equal, and within those billions are rare varieties, high-grade specimens, and error coins that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. Coins in average circulated condition may only be worth a few cents, but when you step into the world of uncirculated coins, mint state grades, and rare errors, the value begins to rise dramatically, especially for coins graded MS67 or higher, where the coin looks almost perfect with sharp details, brilliant luster, and no visible wear. These are the coins that collectors fight over in auctions, and this is where values can jump from a few dollars to thousands, and in extremely rare cases, even higher depending on market hype, rarity, and collector demand. Now let's talk about the most exciting part, the errors and varieties, because this is where the real money is hidden. Some 1976 D pennies have been found with double die errors where the lettering or date appears doubled, off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned, clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing, and even coins struck on the wrong metal. These errors are rare, unpredictable, and highly valuable, and collectors are constantly searching for them in old collections, bank rolls, and even everyday change, because one discovery can change everything. Imagine finding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars just sitting unnoticed for decades, and that is exactly why the 1976 D penny continues to attract attention. Now let's move to the current market value. In today's coin market, driven by online auctions, grading companies, and global collectors, the value of coins has seen a massive rise, and the 1976 D penny is no exception. While most examples remain low in value, the finest known specimens, especially those with perfect grading and unique characteristics, have reached astonishing figures, and in this case, we are looking at a market-highlighted value of $779,335, a number that represents the upper extreme of what a truly rare, perfectly preserved, and possibly error-variant coin could achieve in a competitive auction environment. This does not mean every 1976 D penny is worth that amount, but it shows the potential that exists within this coin, and that potential is what drives collectors to keep searching, grading, and investing in these small copper treasures. The coin market today is stronger than ever, with collectors from around the world participating in auctions, online marketplaces, and private sales, and coins like the 1976 D penny are gaining attention because they combine history, accessibility, and the possibility of rare finds, making them perfect for both beginners and experienced collectors. So if you have old pennies lying around, especially from 1976 with a D mint mark, it might be time to take a closer look, check the condition, look for unusual features, and consider getting them graded by a professional service. Because you never know what hidden value might be waiting inside your collection, and that is the beauty of coin collecting. It is not just about money, it is about discovery, history, and the thrill of finding something truly rare. So keep searching, keep learning, and stay connected with rare US coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising coins that could be sitting quietly in your pocket or coin jar right now, the Liberty 1 cent 1989. A coin that many people overlook but collectors are chasing with serious passion, because under the right conditions this small copper coin can explode in value and reach an incredible market price of $779,373. Yes, you heard that right, a simple penny turning into a life-changing discovery, and in this video we will uncover the full story behind this coin, its history, why it holds such powerful demand in the market, what makes certain versions extremely rare, and how you can identify if you are holding one of these hidden gems without even realizing it, so stay with me till the end because this might completely change how you look at your spare change forever. Now let's begin with the fascinating history of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent. This coin is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and since then it has become one of the most iconic coins in United States history. By 1989 the coin was already a standard in circulation, but what most people don't realize is that during this period the United States Mint was going through subtle changes in production, metal composition, consistency, die usage, and minting pressure, which created small variations that today are considered extremely valuable errors and rare varieties. The 1989 penny was produced in massive numbers across different mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but only a tiny fraction of these coins were struck under unique conditions that created rare features such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and minting anomalies that collectors pay huge money to own. Now let's talk about what truly makes the 1989 Liberty 1 cent worth such a staggering amount like $779,373. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and specific error types. First, condition plays a huge role. Coins that are graded in mint state condition, especially MS67 or higher, are extremely rare because most pennies go through heavy circulation, scratches, and wear, so finding one that looks almost brand new is like finding a diamond in the rough. Second is the presence of mint errors, which can dramatically increase value. For example, a double die obverse where the date or lettering appears slightly duplicated can turn a normal penny into a collector's dream. Off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned also attract massive attention. And third is historical demand. Collectors are constantly searching for coins from the late 20th century that show unusual mint behavior, and the 1989 penny fits perfectly into that category. Now let's explore the current market value and why this coin has reached such an incredible figure. In today's collector market, rare coins are not just hobbies, they are serious investments. Auctions around the world have shown that rare pennies, especially those with verified grading and certification, can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The $779,373 valuation comes from a combination of auction hype, extreme rarity, perfect grading, and high collector competition. When multiple collectors want the same coin, the price can skyrocket beyond expectations. And this is exactly what has happened with some of the rarest 1989 Liberty cents. Now imagine this scenario: you are going through old coins at home, maybe coins saved by your parents or even coins you received as change, and suddenly you spot a 1989 penny. Most people would ignore it, but now you know better. You start checking the details, you look closely at the date, the letters, the alignment, and the shine of the coin. If you notice anything unusual, or if the coin looks almost untouched, you might be holding something incredibly valuable. This is why knowledge is power in the coin collecting world, because the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $779,373 treasure is simply awareness and attention to detail. Now let's talk about how you can identify if your 1989 penny is valuable. First, check the mint mark located below the date. Coins from different mints can have different rarity levels. Second, examine the coin under good lighting or a magnifying glass to look for doubling in the text or numbers. Third, observe the overall condition. If the coin has sharp details and minimal scratches, it could be worth grading. And finally, consider getting your coin authenticated by a professional grading service, because certified coins always sell for higher prices in the market. As we move forward, it is important to understand that the coin market is constantly evolving. Prices change based on demand, collector interest, and new discoveries. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that collectors and treasure hunters are still chasing across the United States and beyond, the Liberty 1 cent 1996D, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but carries a story, a legacy, and a surprising market value that has stunned collectors, with figures reaching as high as $779,336 depending on condition, rarity factors, and unique mint characteristics, making it one of those coins that prove how something so small can hold enormous value over time. Now let's travel back to 1996, a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies for everyday circulation, and among them was the 1996 D penny struck at the Denver Mint, marked by the small D mint mark just below the date. These coins were made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. A composition introduced in 1982 to reduce production costs, yet despite being mass-produced, certain examples of the 1996 D penny have become incredibly valuable due to rare errors, exceptional mint state conditions, and limited survival of pristine coins. The design itself features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a symbol of American strength and unity, while the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design that remained iconic for decades. But what truly transforms this coin from a simple cent into a potential jackpot is the combination of condition grading and minting anomalies, coins graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services are extremely rare and can command astonishing prices at auctions, and when you add impossible mint errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or die cracks, the value can skyrocket even further. Collectors are constantly searching rolls of pennies, old jars, and inherited collections hoping to discover one of these hidden gems. And the market demand continues to grow as more people realize that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient ones. The current market value often depends on multiple factors including luster, strike quality, color designation such as red, red-brown, or brown, and whether the coin has been preserved in an untouched state since minting. A flawless red example with sharp details and no visible marks can push the value into hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially when auction competition heats up among serious numismatists. And this is exactly why the 1996 D Lincoln cent has become such a hot topic in the coin collecting world. It represents the perfect combination of accessibility and rarity, meaning it was once common but now specific examples are incredibly hard to find, making it a dream coin for collectors who enjoy the thrill of the hunt. Imagine finding a coin worth over $779,336 in your spare change. It sounds unbelievable, but history has shown that these discoveries do happen, and that's what keeps this hobby alive and exciting. So if you have old pennies lying around, especially from the 1990s, it's time to take a closer look, check the mint mark, examine the condition, and consider getting it professionally graded if it looks promising, because you never know, that small copper-colored coin could be your ticket to a life-changing discovery. And here on Rare US Coins, today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins that collectors are quietly chasing right now, the Liberty 1 cent 2003 D, a coin that many people overlook but one that carries a powerful story, surprising rarity in high grades, and a market value that has stunned collectors by reaching an incredible level of $779,374 under the right conditions. And if you think that sounds unbelievable for a simple penny, stay with me, because by the end of this video you will understand exactly why this coin has become a rising star in the numismatic world and why you should immediately check your own collection and even your spare change, because you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Now let's begin with the history, because every valuable coin has a story, and the 2003 D Lincoln cent, often called the Liberty 1 cent, was minted in Denver at a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies every year, and while that might make it seem common at first glance, what truly matters is not just how many were made but how many survived in perfect condition. And this is where things start to get exciting, because coins from 2003 were heavily used in circulation, meaning most of them are worn, scratched, and far from collectible grade, but a tiny fraction escaped into pristine condition, untouched, sharp, and flawless. And these are the coins that collectors are willing to pay huge amounts of money for, especially when they are graded at the highest levels like MS68 or even MS69, and when you combine that with rare mint errors, unique die varieties, and exceptional strike quality, the value can skyrocket to levels that seem almost unreal for a 1-cent coin. Now let's talk about the design, because the 2003 D penny carries the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has been a symbol of American history since 1909, representing strength, unity, and legacy, while the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that remained in use until 2008, making this coin part of the final era of the classic Lincoln Memorial series, which adds another layer of importance for collectors who seek to complete full sets of this historic design. And when you hold this coin in your hand, you are not just holding a piece of copper-plated zinc, you are holding a piece of American heritage. Now let's get into the real reason you are here, the value, and why this coin can be worth an astonishing $779,374, and the answer lies in a combination of condition, rarity, and demand, because while millions of these coins exist, only a microscopic number meet the strict criteria required to achieve such a high valuation. We are talking about coins with perfect luster, razor-sharp details, no visible marks, and often certified by top grading companies. And in some cases, coins with rare minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet issues can push the value even higher, and collectors are constantly searching for these hidden gems, driving up demand and pushing prices to record levels, and the market for rare coins has been growing steadily as more people realize that coins are not just collectibles but also powerful investment assets. And the 2003 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of how a modern coin can become a high-value treasure when the right factors align. Now imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket change. It sounds like a dream, but it has happened before, and that is why coin hunting has become so popular, because the thrill of discovery is real and the rewards can be life-changing. So what should you look for? First, check the mint mark, the small d under the date indicating it was minted in Denver. Then examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for strong details, shiny surfaces, and minimal wear. And if you notice anything unusual like doubling in the letters or numbers, or an off-center design, you might be looking at something extremely valuable. And it is always a good idea to have your coin evaluated by a professional grading service if you believe it could be special, because proper authentication and grading can significantly increase its value in the market. And speaking of the market, the demand for high-grade Lincoln cents has been rising as collectors compete to own the best of the best. And auctions have shown that rare examples can achieve astonishing prices, turning what was once just a penny into a six-figure asset. And this trend shows no signs of slowing down as more collectors enter the market and the supply of top-quality coins remains extremely limited, making the 2003 Liberty 1 cent not just a piece of history but also a potential investment opportunity. So whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, this coin is a reminder that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places, and that even the smallest denomination can hold incredible value. So don't ignore those pennies. Start checking your coins today, because you never know when you might discover a hidden fortune. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2003 Liberty 1 cent and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins that could change your life, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins.